In this episode, 10 ways to use flowers at your wedding.
Hi there, bridal couples to be.
Welcome to How to Get Married in Holland.
The ultimate wedding podcast of and about the Netherlands.
We, wedding ceremony experts, aka celebrants Daphne and Jasperien, share all ins and outs of getting married in our flat and fabulous country.
Enjoy listening.
Hi Daphne. Here we are again.
Hi Jasperien, here we are, yes. And we're talking about flowers.
Again, there's so much to say about flowers. So we decided to make a list of 10 ways that you can use flowers at your wedding.
Yes.
Not necessarily only the ceremony, but during the whole day. So shoot, I would say.
Well, let's start with the wedding couple themselves, shall we?
Okay. Yep.
Of course, when you think about flowers for a wedding, everyone thinks, I think, about a bouquet, right?
Bouquet, yes, bouquet for the bride, but don't forget the boutonniere for the groom and the other guests, of course.
Yeah, but nowadays I see a lot of guests without boutonniere, or only the parents and the witnesses, or,
the inner circle.
Man. Yeah, maid of honor.
Yeah. And there's also a way that it should be worn, right?
Yeah.
Up or down with the flowers.
Yeah, up for the gentlemen and
down
with the flowers
for the
down for the ladies. Yes, that's correct. And do you also happen to know on which side they should be worn?
Oh, I think it's left.
I thought so too.
Yes.
The side of the heart, right?
Yes, I think so. Yeah. Good question.
Yeah.
It's so... You don't think about that. But that's one thing. It, doesn't matter, but maybe tradition dictates that it's on one side or the other. So let's go for the left side.
Yes, let's do that. And there are also, of course, many other ways you can use flowers at your wedding.
Yes.
For example, the first look.
Yep, first look, very important. A magical moment, I would say.
Yes.
Very, very magical moment. So traditionally, the groom would go to the bride's house and ring the doorbell to pick her up, and then the bride would come down from the stairs. Normally, it would be the house of her parents. These days, of course, that can be different, but that's what traditionally would happen. And it could be so nice if the stairs where she comes down from, you could decorate them with petals of a certain flower, leaves, even dried eucalyptus leaves, rose petals.
Yeah, because that's always the moment that's captured within pictures or video, right?
Yes.
So
yes. Also, and if you do it outside, I mean, you could even do the same.
Yeah.
Make like a path of
flower petals.
Yes.
Yeah.
That would be really nice.
And it's also, timing-wise, a great moment for the groom to hand the bouquet as a gift to his bride.
Yeah. That's also a moment that is very appropriate to give the bouquet. A traditional moment as well.
And what about same-sex couples? Because, we talk about the bride and the groom, and it's very traditional.
Yeah.
But I've seen also two grooms who each had a bouquet. They loved flowers and they had fresh flowers every week in their home. And they said, well, we both want a bouquet, so why not?
Oh, so nice.
Yeah, you do you, right? So
it doesn't matter.
Or both a boutonniere, or I had two brides who both wore beautiful flower crowns in their hair.
Oh, lovely.
So they had their hands free. Which is also a great option. Or even a corsage on your wrist, with flowers.
Yes, true. I think you should do what feels like you.
Yeah.
I think that's the most important thing. And then it doesn't matter whether it's one groom and a bride, or two grooms or two brides. Just do whatever makes you happy. So if you both want to have a bouquet, have a bouquet. If you just want to have like a flower crown, have a flower crown. Doesn't matter. As long as it suits you.
And
That's
makes
the
you
main
feel
thing.
beautiful.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the third way to use flowers at your wedding would be at a processional,
Yes.
which is a beautiful way to, have the aisle decorated,
Mhm.
of course, perhaps by a flower girl,
Mhm.
throwing petals
Mhm.
as a path before you
Mhm.
when you
Mhm.
enter the ceremony
Mhm.
room. But also, beautiful little bouquets hanging on the sides
The
of the
sides of the chairs.
chairs,
Yes.
um,
Yes.
at the side of the aisle, that
Mm.
is.
Mm.
Um,
I once had a beautiful autumn wedding in a big barn. It was very rustic wedding, and it was instead of how do you say that, like something lying in the middle. A tapestry lying in the middle to walk on. They had leaves, eucalyptus
oh,
leaves. They had a whole carpet of eucalyptus leaves, as if it were a carpet going through the middle of the
like
aisle.
an organic aisle.
Exactly. It was
Wow.
beautiful. It was gorgeous. It was really lovely.
And a
Eucalyptus and
great
rosemary.
smell
Yes.
also. Yeah.
Yes. So it really, for the senses, it was an absolute feast. It was beautiful to see, and you could smell it as well. It was lovely. So
Wow.
yes. So that's
Eh,
processional, really important element of decorating your wedding with flowers.
yeah. Yeah. And I've also seen like hurricane lights, candles within
Uh-huh.
a glass
Yeah.
protection shield
Yeah, yeah,
almost,
yeah.
but a beautiful decoration with rose petals in between. It
Mm,
also gives a really great vibe,
mm,
especially for evening weddings,
mm.
when it
Yes,
gets a little bit darker.
yes.
Very nice
Make sure
vibe.
that there's enough space though, so that
Yeah.
guests don't knock over the candles, or the even the glass. It has
Depending also
happened.
on the width of your gown, right?
Yeah, exactly. So that's a
Yeah.
very important one.
Yeah.
Next one,
So we're number 4,
number 4.
which is the styling of the ceremony,
Mm-hmm.
which could be a backdrop
Backdrop. Yeah.
or a beautiful arch. I've
Yes.
seen triangles, I've seen squares, I've
Mm.
seen circles,
Circles. Yes. A big
with a little bit of
bouquet.
gold or,
A big bouquet on a pillar, two
yeah,
bouquets on a pillar at the entrance of the,
yeah,
the either the room or the venue or the aisle, or next to the couple as well.
yeah.
Big
Great
bouquet.
statement pieces.
Oh yes, lovely. I love that. I
Yeah,
really love that. It's very
yeah,
trendy to have a backdrop these days.
yeah, it is.
You
Yeah.
see them more and more.
And especially when you're getting married outside,
Hmm.
you need something to anchor almost
Hmm.
the setting
Hmm.
of where the ceremony takes
Mm.
place.
Yes.
So even if you have two, simple white pillars with
Mm.
statement pieces on it, and
Hmm.
at the beginning of the aisle,
Hmm.
it it gives a sense of like this is the start of the opening,
Yeah.
or like a doorway
Yes.
almost.
Yes.
And yeah, and of course the backdrop is a beautiful framing
Yeah. Yeah.
picture wise,
Yeah.
yeah, for your
I want
wedding
to say something
pictures.
about backdrops. I
Mm,
really have to share something with our listeners about backdrops. Make sure it is stable. I
yes.
once had a backdrop that
Dropped.
when it actually dropped, it fell apart. It fell apart. The couple wasn't there. There was no one there except for me, and it just fell apart. There was like a bit of wind, and it fell apart. So I just had to solve that. And so I managed to actually put the metal frame. So the metal frame fell apart, and thus the flowers as well. So I had to put it back together again, which I managed to do that. There was like a
Oh,
chair that I took from the audience, and I was standing on the chair to put it all back together again. Eventually someone came, so there was two of us putting it back. And of course, the flowers were not on the spot where they were beforehand. But
Oh dear.
I didn't say anything. It stood there, and it was firm, and it worked, and no one made a remark.
No one noticed.
So that is my one big thing with backdrops. If you get married outside and if it's windy, please make sure it is stable and firm.
Yeah. And,
there you go.
Thanks to you as a real MacGyver.
Oh my
You
God,
managed
that was a really stressful situation. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, in the end, it's a good story. It's a fun story, but you just don't want anyone to notice. And you think, oh, I stick this rose in here or there, and in the end, it was okay. But that's something you really have to make sure with the florist who puts it together.
Yeah, that's true. So number 5.
Number 5, you tell.
Which is a quite unique one, I think. It's giving a thank you bouquet during the ceremony as a gift for the parents.
I've never had that, but you have, obviously.
Yes. Yeah. And it also happened to be a couple who were working. They had their own flower business.
All right.
So it was also their language of love, really.
Oh.
Of course they loved flowers, but they really wanted to create something special for the mothers. And they gave it to their parents as a thank you for their upbringing and looking back at a great childhood.
Oh, that's so lovely.
Yeah, making them who they are today.
Yes.
Saying I do. A very special moment in their lives. So there were a lot of tears right there and then.
And when did they actually give those flowers to the parents? Was that during the ceremony or?
It was during the ceremony, so it was after my introduction and a very warm welcome to everyone and really expressing the gratitude for all their loved ones, making the effort to travel all the way to the Netherlands to join them there.
Yeah.
And then they gave the flowers as a gift to the parents.
Amazing. So nice.
Yes,
so
it
nice.
is. Yeah.
Have you had it that there were like remembrance flowers for people that were not there? Like a favorite flower of,
that's
maybe
number
a grandmother?
6.
Okay,
Indeed.
yes, that's number 6.
Yeah. Yeah, talking about symbolism, it's a beautiful way to create a very subtle remembrance moment for loved ones you miss.
Yes.
I had indeed a bride who had her mother's favorite flowers, which were peonies, integrated in her bouquet.
Yeah.
But it could also be at all the flower arrangements, of course.
Yes.
But you can choose flowers that remind you of a loved one.
Yeah.
But you can also choose flowers for their symbolism of the flower itself, right?
Yes, you can. And in terms of that, there's one flower that I would not use in the Netherlands, at least, because it's related to a mourning ceremony, a burial, and that's like the white anthurium. It's like a flower that goes it goes up. It's round. It's very leather-like. Sometimes you do see it in wedding bouquets, but personally, I would not use it because for me, it's really related to, saying goodbye to someone rather than saying hello to a husband and wife.
Yeah, it's not a funeral, right?
It's not a funeral, yes.
No, it's a wedding.
Yes.
But you do see roses, which are, of course, also very symbolic for, the very tender petal and the color, a reminding of love, but also the thorns.
Yes.
Which are symbolism of the reality of life.
Yes.
The ups and downs.
Hardly see red roses though.
No, not really.
I've only had a few times a bride with a bouquet full of red roses, whereas the flower representing love would be a red rose.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
But
of course, it's a matter of taste and your theme colors and everything.
Yes.
And,
theme colors. You said theme colors. That's another one.
Yeah, of course you can have a theme color and choose to have it integrated in your flower arrangements, or the other way around. If you have a favorite flower, you can make it your theme color.
Yeah, yeah.
However, if you do choose blue as a theme color, it's a rather challenging color to find really beautiful blue flowers.
Yeah,
yeah. But I've seen white roses that were like dip dye.
Oh, yes.
You know,
That's
in
what they do these
blue
days. Yeah.
color.
Yeah, and blue dye.
Which had a beautiful effect, really.
Yeah.
So that would be number 7 then.
Go on, number 8?
Well, that would be at the end of the ceremony, which is the recessional.
Yes.
And, you know, it's a tradition to throw rice at a couple.
Yep.
To shower them in rice as a symbol of fertility.
Fertility.
However, rice does tend to grow and make little plants that most venues aren't very fond of.
No.
So, yeah, unfortunately, it's not allowed to throw with rice, but you can throw rose petals.
Yes, rose petals or leaves, eucalyptus leaves, rosemary leaves, and there are even companies, floral designers, who make floral confetti.
Yes.
So rather than throwing the leaves, you would have like little circles, like true confetti, because paper confetti is not allowed in many places either, because it's not biodegradable. So leaves, confetti leaves, petals would be a very good alternative.
Yeah, all organic.
Yeah.
Okay. And another use for flowers at your wedding is, of course, venue ornaments.
Yes.
So take a look at your venue. Are there any particular shapes or forms that really stand out? Perhaps a beautiful staircase, like a, stairway to heaven, all covered in flowers, or an arch, or the entrance. The first impression for the guests when they come at your wedding.
Yeah.
So and
table decorations.
Table decorations, yeah. And I had at a venue there is how do you call it? A swing.
Oh yes.
And they
that's
had
a nice example. I love that.
Yeah, they had the ropes, which are like vertical shapes, right?
Yes.
And they had them covered in flowers. Yes. So the bride was sitting on the swing, and the groom was, pushing her a little bit forward and back. And it made for beautiful pictures.
Yeah. That's lovely. I once had also an outside wedding, and it was a Belgian castle. And they had a little island, and the bridge leading to the island was decorated with flowers, which greatly enhanced the photos. So that was lovely as well. I mean, that is also part of the venue, and it does make a difference if you're on a beautiful romantically decorated bridge with flowers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Jasperien, we said 10 ways to use flowers at your wedding, but we have a few extra bonus tips because we are already at 10, I believe. But flowers on your, how do you call it? Your wedding transport? Your
car. Oh, yes,
your
on
car.
The car, the top of the bonnet of the car. Yes.
Yeah, on the hood of the car.
Yeah.
I've also seen a bridal couple arriving in a convertible. A cabrio.
Yes.
And it was at the back of the car. So it was behind their backs, like a
very nice.
Yeah, beautiful, surrounding them with flowers, or on the antenna, a little flower and a ribbon.
Yeah.
It's also a beautiful
very
thing.
Good idea.
Yeah.
We were talking about flowers on the before on the table.
On the tables.
You had a very nice idea, something that you saw during one of your weddings with theme colored flowers on tables. Tell us about that.
Yeah, for the wedding dinner, you probably would think who sits where and who sits on which table. So you have a seating arrangement or a seating chart.
Yeah.
And of course you could work with numbers, but why not work with flowers?
Yeah, I think
So
that was
you
a
could
brilliant idea.
Yeah, you could put a certain flower or a certain color of flower on a particular table, and you put a list in the beginning of the ceremony or the dinner room and the dining hall, and everyone could take a look at their name, see which flower is on top, and well, they only have to go and take their seat at the table where that
sunflower,
certain flower is,
or the
sunflower, rose,
or the lily of the valley.
Yeah.
Yeah, very, very nice idea.
Yeah, I thought it was a very original way of making a seating chart.
Yes.
Yes. And I've also seen flowers in drinks.
Oh, yes.
And I can tell you from experience that a lavender champagne tastes lovely.
Oh, wonderful. You see it in gin and tonic as well. Lavender in gin and tonic. But you could also even have flowers on your food. You have edible flowers. Yeah.
Edible flowers. Yeah, why not?
Yeah. So many uses for flowers during your wedding day. Yeah. That was our top 10 with a bonus of 2 or 3.
Yeah, it is. And do listen to the next episode, because then we interview Marta, who is a floral designer, and he talks more about the use of flowers at your wedding.
See you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thanks for listening to How to Get Married in Holland.
We look forward to share more about organizing your wedding day in the Netherlands in the next episode.
Hit the subscribe button so you won't miss anything.
Any questions in the meantime?
Please ask wedding celebrants Daphne or Jasperien. You can find us, plus the show notes, on Instagram.
And if you love this podcast, please leave a review.
It gives us a higher ranking, so more fun international couples with Dutch wedding plans will be able to find us.
Until next time.